Something exploded in the world of political gossip today, and the fallout is hitting harder than anyone expected. Usha Vance, usually calm, composed, and unshakable, was reportedly left in tears, completely overwhelmed, all because Candace Owens decided to drop a bombshell that no one saw coming. And trust me, this wasn't just any reveal. This was personal, brutal, and timed with suspicious precision. Behind the scenes, whispers say Candace didn't just share information. She exposed a secret tied to Erika, a secret so sensitive and so explosive that even people close to her didn't know how to react. And yet, Candace delivered it with the coldness of someone who wanted chaos. And now, the internet is on fire. Some are calling it betrayal. Others are calling it karma. But everyone agrees, whatever Candace did, she crossed a line that's impossible to uncross. And poor Usha Vance? She's caught right in the middle of this mess, blindsided, emotional, and unable to understand why she became the target of a scandal she never asked to be a part of. But here's what no one can figure out yet. Why did Candace reveal this now? And what is she really planning? The truth is darker than you think. From the outside, Usha Vance has always been admired as the calm, grounded presence in her husband's rapidly rising political world. People see her as elegant, disciplined, and deeply committed to her family, a woman who avoids chaos, avoids confrontation, and never lets herself get pulled into messy public scandals. Her reputation is built on grace. She's the steady hand, the quiet strength, the one who keeps everything from falling apart. But what most people didn't realize was that beneath that controlled surface, there were fragile connections, unspoken tensions, and complicated relationships slowly building pressure over time. And that pressure finally erupted the moment Candace Owens decided to speak. Candace, of course, has never been known for subtlety. She has built her entire public persona around being bold, controversial, and brutally outspoken. She thrives on confrontation and knows exactly how to draw attention. People either support her fiercely or criticize her relentlessly, but no one can deny that whenever Candace says something, the entire internet listens. And this time, what she said wasn't just shocking, it was a direct hit at the delicate world Usha had been trying to protect. But Candace wasn't the only factor in this storm. There was also Erika, the quiet, almost mysterious figure whose name most people barely knew until now. She was never famous, never the center of attention, but she was connected to the right people. She attended political fundraisers, private gatherings, charity events. She wasn't loud or dramatic.
She blended in.
Until suddenly she didn't. Because Erika, according to swirling whispers and online speculation, was hiding something big, something emotional, and something deeply personal. And the moment Candace Owens revealed Erika's alleged 8-week pregnancy, everything changed. Weeks before this explosion, Usha and Erika actually appeared to be on friendly terms. Photos from charity events showed them smiling warmly, leaning into each other as if they shared genuine closeness. One picture resurfacing across social media now shows Erika holding Usha's hand, both women laughing. Erika had even posted the photo with a heartfelt message at the time. Women who support you in silence are the ones who matter most. People thought it was sweet, supportive, nothing to overthink.
But now?
That same image is being dissected everywhere, with commenters asking if that caption was actually a warning, or worse, a sign that something deeper was happening behind the scenes. On the opposite side of this dynamic, Candace had been dropping cryptic hints online for weeks. She never mentioned names, but her followers sensed something brewing. One of her posts that is now going viral said, "Some secrets are ticking time bombs, and some people deserve the explosion." Another said, "If you pretend to be perfect, life has a way of exposing what's hidden." At the time, no one connected these messages to Usha or Erika. But now, fans are convinced Candace was preparing the public for her dramatic revelation, and the reveal itself proved that she was ready to ignite chaos. Behind the polished surface, the relationship between Usha and Erika seemed to shift abruptly. Followers noticed Erika quietly deleting several old posts, including photos with Usha, and replacing them with vague, emotionally heavy quotes. One of her new captions read, "Sometimes the people closest to you are the ones hiding the deepest truths." Almost immediately, speculation erupted. Was she talking about Usha? Was she hinting at something Candace already knew? Was the friendship broken long before the public noticed? Witnesses who had seen Usha and Erika together described their last public outing as warm and relaxed, nothing unusual. But soon after, the sudden silence between them became impossible to ignore. No interactions, no smiles, no supportive posts, nothing. And then came the leak. Candace Owens delivered the alleged 8-week pregnancy bombshell with sharp confidence, as if she had been waiting for the perfect moment. The reveal was devastating. According to sources, Usha had absolutely no idea this information was going public, and she certainly wasn't prepared for her name to be dragged into the chaos. People close to her claim she felt blindsided, humiliated, and deeply shaken. Now the public is left trying to piece together a puzzle with missing parts. What really happened between Usha and Erika? Why did Candace decide to expose this now? Was there betrayal? A falling out? A secret that someone wanted buried forever? The truth is spiraling, and every new clue only makes the story more tangled. And Usha, whether she wanted it or not, is now trapped in a scandal she never saw coming. In the weeks leading up to the scandal, everything appeared quiet on the surface. Usha continued her public appearances with her characteristic calm, smiling gracefully beside her husband at political events, shaking hands, and offering supportive words to attendees. To the outside world, life looked stable, polished, and predictable. But if people had been paying closer attention, they would have noticed the subtle changes, the small shifts in behavior from each woman involved, the cracks forming behind the scenes, the tension that was building long before anyone realized. The timeline begins with Erika's sudden reclusiveness. Normally active online, she went from posting regularly to disappearing almost entirely. Friends noticed she skipped 2 private events she had previously committed to. One insider claimed she seemed emotionally overwhelmed and weighed down by something personal. When she finally reappeared online, she posted a quiet, almost eerie message: "I just need time to breathe." People assumed she was dealing with stress, but now, looking back, many believe that was the first hint something deeper was unfolding. Around the same time, Candace Owens began making her cryptic posts, statements that, in hindsight, now seem like breadcrumbs leading to the dramatic reveal. Her first mysterious message read, "You can lie to the public, but you can't lie to yourself." Fans debated who she was calling out. Some guessed it was directed at politicians. Others speculated it was about influencers or activists she had clashed with in the past. No one suspected it had anything to do with Usha or Erika. Yet behind the scenes, the tension between the 3 women was approaching a boiling point. According to a source who claims to have been present during a private gathering, Erika pulled Usha aside during an event and appeared visibly upset. Witnesses said they saw Erika wiping her eyes, while Usha held her hand, whispering something soothing. One person claimed they heard Erika say, "I didn't want you to find out like this," though no one could clearly identify what she was referring to. At the time, it was written off as a personal matter between friends, but after the scandal broke, the moment resurfaced online as a shocking possible clue. Then everything shifted. About a week later, Usha arrived at a fundraiser without Erika, a change people immediately noticed because the two had been nearly inseparable at social events. Instead, Erika was nowhere to be seen, replaced by a stiff silence between the women that fans picked up on instantly. Photos of Usha that night showed her smiling, but commenters said her smile looked forced and uncomfortable, while others insisted she looked preoccupied, as if she had just received unsettling news. Around this same time, Erika quietly deleted photos of Usha from her profile. That simple action triggered the first wave of speculation. Comments poured in beneath Erika's remaining posts. What happened between you and Usha? Why did you unfollow her? Something feels off. But Erika didn't respond. She didn't deny anything either. She simply posted another vague message. Sometimes silence is the only truth I have left. Meanwhile, Candace Owens continued building tension online. On one of her live streams, she paused mid-discussion, leaned forward, and said, "There are certain things happening behind closed doors that people would never believe. And honestly, I'm done pretending I don't know them." Her followers immediately demanded details, but Candace refused to elaborate, only adding, "Trust me, the truth will come out. And when it does, don't say I didn't warn you." At this point, public curiosity was brewing, but the scandal hadn't broken yet. What no one knew was that Candace was allegedly in possession of messages, confessions, and private information tied to Erika, information that would ultimately drag Usha into the drama, even though she had no role in creating it. The breaking point came days later. Rumors began circulating online that Candace had spoken to someone close to Erika, a friend or confidant, who had revealed something massive. Soon after, Candace released a post that would live in infamy. The truth is always harder to hide than people think, especially when new life is involved. That single sentence set social media into a frenzy. Commentators, gossip pages, and fans began speculating wildly. Theories ranged from family drama to hidden affairs to secret medical conditions. People were desperate for answers. And then, without warning, during a highly viewed live stream, Candace finally dropped the bombshell. Erika is allegedly 8 weeks pregnant, and the reason it matters is because certain people pretending to be innocent have known about it all along. The moment she said it, the internet exploded. Clips from the live stream spread across every platform: Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Influencers reacted in real time. Commentators analyzed every word. Fans flooded comment sections with shock and confusion. Many immediately turned their attention to Usha, confused about her connection to the pregnancy. Others accused Candace of creating chaos for attention. Some blamed Erika for not being open. But the loudest reactions came from those who believed there was hidden betrayal between the women, betrayal that Usha never saw coming. According to multiple sources, Usha found out about the reveal the same time the public did. She hadn't been warned. She hadn't been given context. She was thrown into the center of a scandal that wasn't hers to begin with. And the emotional impact was overwhelming. One person close to Usha claimed, "She was shaking. She kept saying, 'Why would she do this?' Erika is hiding something huge. There's more to this story. We're not getting the whole truth." Commentators on podcasts and gossip shows began analyzing timelines, comparing deleted posts, examining body language from old photos, and digging for clues that might explain how such a tightly knit trio ended up in such explosive drama. Public tension rose by the hour. And through it all, Usha's silence grew louder, fueling even more speculation. People wondered if she was devastated, angry, or preparing a response. Some believed she knew more than she was letting on. Others insisted she was simply trying to protect herself and her family. But the whispers haven't stopped. The timelines don't add up. And the story isn't even close to finished. What actually happened between Usha, Erika, and Candace? Who betrayed whom? And who is hiding the truth? Everything is pointing to a twist far bigger than anyone expects. As the dust settled after Candace Owens dropped Erika's shocking 8-week pregnancy revelation, the consequences began to unravel at lightning speed, especially for Usha Vance. The calm, composed, and fiercely private woman who had always stood behind her husband suddenly found herself thrust into a storm she never asked for. Her world, once carefully structured around dignity, loyalty, and quiet strength, now felt as if it were collapsing piece by piece. And the public wasn't holding back. Overnight, Social media exploded with debates, accusations, and wild theories that left Usha's image distorted by narratives she had no control over. For Usha, the emotional toll was immediate and intense. Those close to her claimed she barely slept in the days following the bombshell, pacing through the house at night, replaying events, analyzing every decision, every moment, every public appearance that now seemed tainted by hidden truths. She reportedly questioned how long certain people in her circle had known, whether there were signs she dismissed, and why the truth had to come out in such an explosive and humiliating way. What hurt her the most wasn't the scandal itself. It was the realization that the story had unfolded publicly before she was even given the courtesy of a warning. The fallout extended beyond her emotional world. Behind the scenes, advisors scrambled to contain what was quickly turning into a reputational wildfire. Phone lines buzzed nonstop, lawyers convened late-night discussions, and public relations teams drafted statements, redrafted them, then scrapped them entirely. Everyone knew that one wrong word could escalate the situation even further. But Usha refused to release a statement, insisting she wasn't going to let her pain become a spectacle for entertainment. Yet the contrast between the Usha the public had admired for years and the messy reality unfolding behind the scenes became too glaring to ignore. She had always been portrayed as the serene pillar, disciplined, graceful, unfazed. But now sources described her as fragile, overwhelmed, and torn between anger and heartbreak. One insider allegedly shared that Usha broke down after reading cruel comments online accusing her of being too passive or too trusting, as if her composure was somehow a flaw that made her deserving of betrayal. Another source claimed she slammed her phone shut after seeing edits comparing her past speeches about family values to the current chaos, using her own words as ammunition against her. Meanwhile, legal experts chimed in across podcasts and commentary shows, speculating about potential fallout if Erika's pregnancy timeline overlapped with any sensitive political or professional milestones. Analysts debated whether this revelation could trigger investigations, force uncomfortable testimonies, or even derail certain career plans. Even though no concrete legal consequences had surfaced yet, the public perception alone was enough to cast shadows across everything associated with the Vance family. Family dynamics became strained as well. Relatives reportedly questioned how deeply this scandal would affect their reputation and safety. Some urged Usha to distance herself immediately, to make a public declaration of separation or outrage to protect her name. Others pushed for silence, reminding her that scandals burn out faster when ignored. But Usha, caught between conflicting advice, wrestled with her own values, loyalty, dignity, and the belief that private matters should remain private, even when the world insisted on dissecting them. The hypocrisy of the situation wasn't lost on the public either. Commentators resurfaced clips where family members passionately advocated moral integrity, only to contrast those declarations against this unexpected pregnancy shock. Memes, reaction videos, and dramatic voiceovers flooded timelines, painting a picture of contradiction that Usha had no control over yet was somehow expected to answer for. Every time she stepped outside, cameras waited. Every glance, every sigh, every subtle emotion was captured, analyzed, and tied back to the scandal. The emotional stakes were enormous. Witnesses described moments where Usha appeared on the brink of tears in public but fought hard to hold her composure, refusing to give anyone the satisfaction of seeing her broken. Privately, however, she was said to have confided in a close friend, whispering, "I don't recognize my life anymore." Those words echoed the sentiment many had observed. A woman trapped in a narrative she didn't create, a victim of timing, secrecy, and someone else's choices. The deeper the fallout spread, the more intense the contrast became between Usha's long-standing reputation and the chaotic reality unfolding around her. And that contrast, sharp, emotional, and painfully human, turned this scandal into something bigger than a revelation. It became a story of betrayal, resilience, hypocrisy, and a woman trying desperately to protect her dignity in a world that had already decided to judge her. After everything that's unfolded, the shocking 8-week pregnancy revelation, Usha Vance's heartbreaking emotional unraveling, and the intense public scrutiny that followed, it's impossible not to feel the weight of this entire situation. A woman known for her quiet strength and unwavering grace suddenly caught in the crossfire of someone else's choices. A public already divided, torn between sympathy, outrage, and disbelief. And a scandal that seems far from over, especially with new whispers surfacing every hour online. But now the big question falls on you. Do you think this was a betrayal, not just of Usha, but of the public who believed in a certain image, a certain story, a certain set of values? Do you feel Usha should have spoken out sooner, or was her silence a sign of dignity in the middle of chaos? And what about Candace Owens' role in all this? Was exposing the pregnancy bombshell justified, or did it cross a line? Would you have reacted differently if you were in Usha's position, seeing your entire world turned upside down overnight? There are still so many unanswered questions. Will more details surface about Erika's mysterious timeline? Are insiders holding back even bigger revelations? And what does this mean for the relationships, careers, and reputations already hanging by a thread? Because if history has taught us anything, it's that scandals like this rarely end with the first bombshell. They evolve, twist, and reveal truths people never expected. So now I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts, theories, and reactions in the comments. Do you think this story is just beginning? What do you believe will happen next? And make sure to share this video so more people can join the conversation, because trust me, the next chapter in this drama is going to be even wilder.